That's really simple and it only takes a few ingredients and it comes together very quickly. So let's begin. For this recipe, you're going to need 500 grams of butter, and first we're just going to mix that up so it's nice and smooth. Add my vanilla at the same time as butter, so it has time to incorporate and it develops flavour better. Okay. So to this we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Just going to turn it up. I'm going to beat it for about 5 minutes until it's really smooth and becomes like a light pale yellow colour. Downside to bowl to make sure everything is properly mixed. Pale and it's mixed thoroughly. We're just going to incorporate the icing sugar and we'll incorporate it slowly so it mixes as well. If we dump it in all at once, it will just fly around everywhere and we'll end up missing and losing a lot of that sugar. Low speed, just until it's mixed in, and then we'll keep adding the sugar, a couple of tablespoons at a time. So to around 500 grams of butter, I add about 900 grams of icing sugar. Don't exactly add the 2:1 ratio. I found that this makes a smooth buttercream that isn't too sweet. Once you're halfway through your icing sugar, you can turn off the machine again and scrape down the bowl to make sure that all of your butter is well incorporated with the icing sugar. Usually when I'm making buttercream, I add a tea towel on top after adding the icing sugar to make sure it doesn't fly around. But because I had to show you what's going on, I didn't add the tea towel this time. The tea towel makes sure that it doesn't fly around and doesn't leave the kitchen so messy. I'm just going to beat this on high for about 3 or 4 minutes. Going to add 2 tablespoons of double cream. Depending on the humidity where you are, you may need to add more or less. If it's more humid, then you may have to add less the double cream. And sometimes if you feel that your mixture is fine as is, you won't actually have to add any cream to it at all. I'm just going to let it do its thing for about 3 minutes. As you can see, it's really light and it's really fluffy. Hi guys, now we're going to go on to making rosettes using the 2D piping tip. It's like this, and I got this from Wilton. It wasn't too expensive, and I think it's one of the best investments I've made. And it's one of my most popular cupcakes, is the rosette cupcake. And I'm going to show you how to use a few different techniques with this tip, okay? So for this one, we're going to go with a watermelon red from Americolor. Americolor food colors are very bright. So you only need to add a couple drops and you'll get a very vibrant color. I recommend them. Along with Wilton, I did notice that when I use Wilton colors, they bleed a little, so I switched to Americolor. They're very good. So definitely, I've added the links below. You can check them out. So we're just gonna add a couple drops. Just give it a good mix. I'm going to teach you how to double bag your piping bags. Double bagging means that you can take out and exchange the piping tips as you go along. Okay? You're just going to wrap it around your hand and just open the piping bag. So you can see right into it, and it will make filling the piping bag a lot easier. Okay, we're just going to fill the piping bag with your frosting. Go as slow as you want. You just don't want to waste frosting. Just raise it up like this. Okay, So we filled the piping bag, and as you can see that it's not cut from the side, so the frosting will stay there. You can either use a rubber band or just hold it with your thumb and your finger. Now we're going to prep our other bag, which is what we call the double bag technique. So this bag will contain the tip that you're going to use. So for this one we want to use the rose tip 2D. Just going to pop it into the bag. Piping tip to the end. We don't want to push it too hard, otherwise it will pop out the other end. Now that's the tip ready to go. We are going to pop this first piping bag into the second and let it drop into place. We're just going to squeeze it until the frosting comes out at the end. Okay, now we're ready to pipe. We're just going to start from the top, face down, and pipe, and we're just going to keep hugging the frosting that was previously there. Just keep going. Don't tilt the piping bag or the nozzle at any point. When you reach the edge, just swipe. At this point you can either add sprinkles to the edges to cover up that corner, which is what I usually do, and I have my own mix which I'm just going to show you. So you're just going to drop the sprinkles. Just make sure they're stuck down really nicely. Just to cover up, just to cover up the edge. And there you have it. Got your first rosette cupcake. We're going to try doing a ruffle. So for this one, we start on the outside and move in. So we're going to start again. We want it to be completely face down. I'm just going to pipe all the way across the lip, bring it up a little, and just keep piping until you get to the centre, and then just pull up. At this point, you can add sprinkles or not. It's entirely up to you. So we're going to use the same double bag technique that we were using before, and this time we're going to pop in a leaf tip. I'm just going to pop it into the bag, put it down. I'm going to go back in with the same colour, the same watermelon pink colour. I'm just going to squeeze it so it just starts coming out, and we're going to create, this time we're going to create a ruffle technique. So we're going to start on the outside and just create a really pretty ruffle. You can see it's really cute. If you pick a bigger leaf tip, you'll get bigger ruffles. I think the small ones are really dainty. For this one, you want the tip to be at a 30-degree angle, and just keep piping. This one's actually quite forgiving, so if you don't create perfect ruffles, it's not that big of a deal. That looks really pretty. I use Leaf Green by Wilton. It's really good. You just need a couple drops of it and it will make your frosting really vibrant. Just be ever so careful, don't add too much. You can use the end of a spoon or a toothpick. I find it easier to use a spoon. I'm just going to give it a good mix through. Always add more colour to it. You just can't take it away once it's in there. Mix around. So for this one, we're going to use the double bag method again. So we've got 2 piping bags here. Again, for this one, the link for the piping bags is down below. I'm just going to snip a bit at the end off. And we're going to place our leaf tip, sorry, our grass tip into the piping bag and just bottom. Snip off the bottom if you think it's not enough. If you don't have a grass tip, you can always use a different bag and just use this bag, and I'll just show it to you from here. If you fold it in half and then just poke 2 or 3 holes in here, it will create the grass tip for you, so you don't actually need the piping tip. take your first piping bag and slip the second one. There you have it. Just squeeze to the end until you can see the frosting come out the other end. There you go. And we're ready to pipe. Okay, so I just baked some vanilla cupcakes, and now we're going to start by pressing down, and we're going to squeeze and pull up. So you just squeeze bottom and pull up. We'll create different lengths. To this one, to the same one, I'm going to use that leaf tip that I showed earlier. I'm going to... Okay, so we're just going to use a small leaf tip just to create some leaves. You might not be able to see them properly, but it just brings more texture. Okay, and to that you can add any kind of flowers. Add some butterflies. Teal colour icing, we just need a little bit of it, we don't want too much, otherwise it will make the frosting too dark. This is my favourite colour. So for the C, you can either mix it halfway and then have like bits of white and bits of teal, some dark teal and light teal. Or you can go all the way and mix it into one colour. But because I want there to be some sea foam, I will not mix it all the way. I want to leave some parts white. Frosting bag, and I'm going to use this star tip. So I'm going to use the star tip. It's a slightly smaller one, and the prongs in the tip are not exactly completely closed. They're slightly open, and it will create that really nice star effect while we're piping. We're just going to pop piping tip into the bag and give it a good squeeze and force it to the front, at which point you can just snip off the end and push it forward. Remember, if you squeeze too tight, it could burst the bag. It can make these cupcakes really difficult. Just pop the first piping bag into the second and just give it a squeeze until the frosting comes out at the end, like you can see there. Now we're going to take a cupcake and you're going to hold it in your hand. It's a lot easier to control it that way. So you're going to push forward and drag it down. So it'll create like a wave. So again, push forward and drag it down. Keep pushing forward and dragging down, all the way around the outside of the cupcake. This is at around a 30-degree angle, and it will create these really nice waves. And you're just going to fill in the middle with a few more of these waves. So for this, and we're just going to take some white fondant, and hang on a minute. We're just going to take some white fondant and give it a good mix. Hopefully it'll stay white. Yeah, just give it a good mix. It's really soft. Now we're going to break apart a small bit of the fondant and just press it into any of the impression parts on the mat. And we're going to use an offset spatula going to use an offset spatula to scrape away the excess fondant and just press it back into the mat again. You see that? And we'll just peel it away, and we've got this soft seashell. Just going to place a couple of these on the top. Let's go back in, create a couple more. But for this one, we're going to create little swirls. Can you see that? The swirls are really small. I'm just going to keep going. And just keep like little rosettes, mini rosettes, and just keep going all around. Just until and at this point you can add any sprinkles or anything you like, but I like to leave them just the way they are. Again, this is a really bright yellow, so just take it one drop at a time until you reach your desired colour. I'm looking for something that's slightly bright, so I'm going to colour it again. this tip is a round tip. It's quite big in size. It has a smaller partner as well. This one, you can pick either one. It's not very much difference between both of them. But this is the simplest tip that you could possibly use. And it creates such pretty designs. I really like this one actually. So again, you're just going to snip off the ends. And place the tip inside. Going to take this tip and pull this down and pull up.
Can I tell Mama?
Yes, you can tell me what you would say.
So, if you run out of those color stuff and there's one what hasn't been decorated, can we have the one what
that hasn't been decorated? Okay.
So you don't have that much asking yet. And we want to just
Okay. At this point, you can decorate the top with some, again, some sprinkles, and I'm going to go with a sprinkle mix and some ink. Let's take some of these sugar rocks, and I'm just going to sprinkle the tops with them. I like this monochrome theme. So you take your cupcake and you turn it upside down, and you just dip it into making sure that every bit of the cupcake is completely covered. So it's the same wave, but we're going to go in. So you start at the top, push, and come in. Keep going all the way around. The middle doesn't have to be pretty.